Have you ever been in a conversation and you sense that the other person is just about ready to interject the word but? Hi, I'm Pastor Jeff Kaplan, and this is Strength for Today with Dr. J. You're talking with a person, and the person starts off by flattering you, by building you up and saying all sorts of complimentary things, expressing appreciation to you. And at a certain point, that individual tells you what is really on his or her mind. Well, let me give you a personal illustration of this. My mom has many positive qualities. Now, I want you to hear that. She really does. She has a zeal for life. She is incredibly persistent. She happens to be a good cook. And beyond that, she's very devoted to her friends and her family. But you knew that was coming. Sometimes she makes me feel defensive. Now, I know that my mother has my best interests at heart, but sometimes she has a way of triggering me. She has this way of pressing my buttons. Let me give you some examples of some statements that she has made in the past that tend to make me feel a little defensive. Maybe you can relate. We will be talking about church, and then she will say to me, "So tell me, how many people showed up at your worship service on Sunday? Oh, and make sure you don't count your family." And why did she have to interject that last part of her question? On another occasion, I sent it to her in email explaining how my family is looking forward to coming out to see her. Well, she, instead of being excited about seeing us, glad that we were going to be taking the time to come out to send good wishes to her and visit with her, she writes back, she says, "Why aren't you planning on spending more time with me?" A little bit of a guilt trip there, wouldn't you say? It's the kind of thing that can make you feel rather defensive. And then one time, she's expressing her frustration to me because I did not get back to her as soon as she thought that I should. And so she says, I sent it to you 2 emails. I left several messages on your voicemail. Don't you believe in getting back with a person? Oh, and by the way, I'm not just a person. I happen to be your mother, in case you forgot. Yeah, there are times when my mom can make me feel defensive. I know that she only wants what's best for me. And yet sometimes she words things in such a way, or her tone of voice gets under my skin. It can trip me up. And my creative challenge is to try to defend myself without coming across defensive. And oftentimes I'm unsuccessful. I can fail miserably at it. Sometimes I actually lose my cool, but I'm glad to say that I don't lose it as often as I used to. Now, why did I bring up these conversations with my mom? Well, certainly it is not to bash her and put her in a bad light. Actually, her statements are a reflection of her deep love and care. The point that I want to make is this: the ability to be able to defend yourself without coming across in a defensive way can be hard. It's a difficult skill um, that is hard to master. It's sometimes very difficult to exercise self restraint, just learning how to do that. And even though there are times when we would have a good reason to retaliate with our words, we are always better off when we can exercise self discipline. Others may make rude comments to us. They may jump to certain conclusions without knowing all of the facts. But it is best when we can express ourselves in a calm and non retaliatory way. So think about that when you are in the process of maybe defending your faith. You see, if you are a believer, there are times when you may be forced to try to defend yourself without being defensive. When someone comes down hard on you or your views, it's important to discipline your mind and your mouth so that you are not lowering yourself down to the other person's level. You see, our job is is not to put unbelievers down and tell them off. No, that would be counterproductive. Now, if you're in the habit of regularly sharing your faith with people who don't know the Lord, then you have ample opportunities in which to defend your positions without being defensive. But you know as well as I do, sometimes it's difficult. At times, there'll be a person who will come across very harsh and hurtful with certain labels that they will place on us. They may say that you're a Bible thumper or a Bible basher, a Bible beater. They may say that you're a Jesus freak or some kind of a religious bigot. And then temptation will be for you to get back at that person by throwing some zingers at that person as well. Well, that would be counterproductive. Well, the time to learn how to defend our Christian perspectives without being defensive is now. Don't wait until you're actually in the situation where you're sharing your faith with someone to learn that skill set. Now is the time to think through what are the objections that unbelievers have to the faith and see to it that you have some good, reasonable, appropriate answers. Now, it could very well be that you have learned how to articulate your faith and lead someone into a personal relationship with the Lord, and that's great. It could very well be that you have developed an ability to exercise personal evangelism at a peak level. But look, not everyone is open to the gospel, at least not right now. Many people have objections, and it's up to you and me to be able to help them think through how they can get some resolution with these objections. Let me challenge you with a key verse in the scriptures. It deals with the whole subject of apologetics, which pertains to defending the faith. I love it. It's a key verse. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. It says, "But sanctify Christ as Lord in your hearts, always being ready to make a defense for everyone who asks you to give an account for the hope lies in you, yet with gentleness and reverence." Can you do that? Can you defend your faith without being defensive? Can you give an account for the hope that lies in you and see to it that you go about that with gentleness, not harshness, with reverence, knowing what is at stake? Drop your comments in the section below. I'd love to hear from you. And while you're at it, go ahead and look down on the description section for our free devotionals, and you can grab your own copy. And check out our other videos. Meanwhile, may God grant you and yours His strength for today.